Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. Today we're flying the Cessna Caravan 208, doing some commuter flights for Topa Sky down in New Zealand. We'll be visiting some rural and not so rural airports on both the North and the South Island eventually. So let's hop on board. We have 7 passengers today, and we are doing a 50-minute flight down to Tauranga, which is on the east coast of the North Island here. We're currently in Auckland. It's midday, roughly coming up for 1 o'clock. A little bit cloudy, but it should be a decent flight. So we'll see you on board. All right, everybody is on board the aircraft. We are finished briefing, and everybody is buckled in. So we are getting ready for engine start. So we'll come down, make sure the parking brake is set. Fuel tank selectors are set to both. Power lever is set to idle. Prop RPM is set to max. And fuel condition lever is in cutoff. Actually, we're going to start in feather. Don't like the checklist doing that. That's fine. Fuel shutoff is pushed all the way in. Flap handle is all the way up and retracted. Ignition switch is normal. Batteries coming on. Passenger signs, we'll consider those to be on. Nav light is on. Turn the beacon on as well. Avionics switch number 1 coming on. I'm going to remove our yoke just so it's out of the way, and we'll pull this out just so we can get a little bit of illumination up here so we can see what we got. And we're going to turn some of these lights up a little bit. There we go. Alright, start switch is, fuel boost pump is going to the on position. Start switch to start. We have engine starting to rotate. Fuel condition lever going to low. Engine's coming up. Alright, she's looking good. Start switch to off. Boost pumps to normal, and avionics switch 2 coming online. I'm going to program in the route, and we will see you when we're done. Alright, our route is into the GPS. I'm just checking our cruising altitude for today's flight, and they want us to be flying at 8,000 feet. So we're going to come in here to our altitude selector, and we'll get 8,000 feet put in. Engine's nicely warmed up now. There we go, 8,000 feet, and we are all set. We'll get the current weather. We're showing VFR conditions. It's 15 degrees, a bit overcast. 6 knot winds out of 120, 10 miles of visibility, and we're looking good. The barrel is 1011, so we'll make sure that is 1011, and we're going to be on the GPS. We're going to come down here. Winds are in. We'll come over to our transponder. We're going to be coding a 5556 on the transponder. It is now on standby, and we are all good there. So we're ready to taxi out. We're going to be going down to runway 5, which is down at that end there. Let's take a look around, make sure we are clear and good to go. So taxi light coming on, landing lights are off. Everything is good in the back. Battery's on. Boost is normal. Starter is off. Ignition off. Standby alternate power is on. We're ready for taxi. So we're good there. Squawk code is set. Transponders in standby. Altimeter local pressure is set. Avionics and GPS is all set up. Fuel control lever is set. Flaps will set for takeoff. It's going to be 1 notch. And flight controls are checked. Alright, we are ready to go. We're going to taxi straight out, pick up the taxi route down to runway 05, and I will see you there. Alright, we're pulling up here to the hold line. We're going to wait for the Malaysia airliner to get out of here, so we'll get on the brakes and we'll get ourselves ready to go. So landing lights are on, strobes are on, transponder is now on, altimeter is set, 1011, trims are set for takeoff. We are good. Flaps are set. Standby alternate power switch is set. Pitot heaters are on. Anti-ice not required. Internal separator not required. And avionics and GPS are all set. There goes the Malaysia Air. And no inbound traffic, so we're good to line up. So propeller's coming forward to max RPM. And we'll move ourselves out. And approach path is clear. Aircraft is departing. We're going to have the wake turbulence, so we're going to be waiting a second before we go. And there we go. This is Payware Airport, by the way, and additional traffic. Let's get a little bit better look here while we wait for him to clear the area. Additional traffic being provided by FSLTL. There goes Air New Zealand ATR. And we are looking good. So he's pretty far away. I think we are ready to go. All right. Coming up on the power. Brakes are released. And takeoff power is set. It's rotation. She just leapt off the ground today. We're climbing out nicely. We'll do this nice and simple. We'll turn the autopilot on and we'll go into nav mode. We're going to set vertical speed. We want to keep it about 1,000 feet per minute. And we'll set our climb power now. So we'll bring the prop back to 1800. And we're about 500 feet, so flaps can come up. And away we go. Fixed gear, so we don't have to worry about retracting the gear. Now we can zoom out a little bit on our range. And we are looking good. So 1800 RPM on the prompt, and our power setting is about 2250. And we got good speed. We're climbing up to 8,000 feet. Yeah, we're fairly heavy. 7 passengers on board today. There we are, leaving Auckland and the airport behind us. Alright, so we are going to fly down to our destination, and we'll come back to talk to you on our way out as we come in for landing, but I'll give you some views on the way. Alright, we're back. We're about 5 miles away from beginning our Topa descent. Weather's come around a little bit now, favoring runway 07, so we've altered our arrival. We're going to be doing the RNAV into runway 07, and we should begin our descent very shortly. We are at 8,000 feet, so we don't have that far to go. We're going to set an initial descent of 2,500, and we're going to be descending down at about 1,000 feet per minute, roughly. Really good. So we're just going to come over the ridge line here, and then we are going to be heading out towards the coast. If we take a look outwards, you see the coastline there on the other side of the ridge, and the town is down here. So we're going to come in, and we're going to make a hard right turn and a hard left turn and line up for 07 on the airport. Let's get ourselves back down. We're just going to monitor for Topa descent. See how she handles the descent down, if she's actually going to do it, because we bring up the flight plan. Does give us some altitudes it's aiming for. Let's see if it's going to do it on its own. We will have to manage the throttle. Alright, we've hit Topa descent, so we're going to start her down on our own. We're going to, I think it's giving us a target there. We'll go for 1,000 feet per minute. We're going to come back on the power. Minimums are roughly 600 feet, so we're going to set 500 on our final descent. We should be over to manual control by that point, since the weather is pretty clear. And once we are down, let's get rid of that, we are going to be departing the runway to the left, probably at Alpha, and we'll head into the terminal. Alright, everything is looking good. Let's keep that speed back. Landing lights are still on since we never got through 10,000 feet. You can see that it's a little bit of cloud here. Definitely a little bit better than where we were. And a little bit of turbulence as we come over top. Let's get that dialed in a little bit more. increase to 1,200 feet per minute. And I think it was recommending 1340. So we'll go right to 13. See how we do. We will be taking over manually when we get a little bit closer in. Speaking of which, we'll dial in now since we do have visual on pretty much everything. We'll bring that down to 500 feet and let the aircraft continue its descent downwards. Once we make the final turn to line up on the runway, we'll activate the approach. It's 4,600 feet. Speed's looking good at 150 knots. Beautiful morning down, or afternoon actually, down here. See the water in the bay, and we're going to turn down here. Now we'll be landing over there. Just make out lights there at the airport. Little bit under. Bring that back up to 1,000 feet. So we want to be 2,500 at 10x. That's down there. We'll bring that back a little bit more. Looks like that 1340 is a restriction that it's got set up. It's 2,500 feet. We'll dial that back slightly. We're safe to activate the approach. It's putting us into a loop. Looks like it wants us to go back up to Rusta. Now, let's see if I can make it go to 10x direct. No, don't want to do that. So we'll just let it do the loop. We will let the aircraft come level at 2,000 feet though, so we don't get too low. Still learning how this works. and figuring it out. So we'll just treat this as a hold for spacing. Once we come around the loop here, oh, nice view of the islands down here. Once we come around, we will activate approach mode. Looks like there might be another aircraft coming in. Picking up something there. Not seeing it. But we're getting some beautiful visuals here of New Zealand and the eastern edges. It's the airport's over there. So we're coming around, so approach mode is now armed. Should take us in. We'll bring the altitude down now to 500 feet. Get rid of that. See how we do. There's the runway directly ahead of us. We're beginning down, so we're going to bring the props back. Propellers fully forward, mixtures fully forward, power back to idle, landing lights are on, taxi lights are on, cabin is briefed, 125 knots, flaps 15. Looks like there's a couple aircraft in front of us. I think I'm going to tell them to leave. There we go. 95 knots, don't want to get much slower than that. So we got one more ahead of us. Didn't clear. There was two of them there by the looks of it. Yeah, he's a bit too far away, he's not clearing. That's fine. Bring the speed back, we'll get the landing flaps out. Bring her down to about 85. See that aircraft has turned away. So we're coming in at about 80 knots. So roughly what we're going to land at. We could bring her down to 70 with full flaps, but it'll be a little bit smoother at 80. All right. Well, welcome to Tauranga, New Zealand. 500 feet. 500. I have control. Looks like we got a little glitch in the air here. Nice sailboats here. It'd be really cool to be flying over. Not sure what that is. We'll ignore that. Alright, we're looking good. Ooh. A little bit of a float there. That will not do on a long, short runway. Alright, that's us slowed right down. Taxi back. We should have been able to get in there without having to do this, but it is what it is. Come on, get around. There we go. All right. Well, we made it. And we're just going to pull in here. Come over to this side. All right. Let's see if we can get her in. My rudder pedals are sliding slightly on the floor, which is a little bit annoying. Let's get the flaps coming up. Make sure we stay clear of the Air New Zealand guys here. Yeah, there was one here. Looks like he's despawned. There we go. That's good enough. So we'll get the brakes on, pop down, and we'll get those lights off. That can come off. Those will stay on. Prop can come back into feather. Bring the condition lever down to low idle. Power lever to idle. And we're all good here. That avionics off. Fuel cut off. Standby power off. Ignition will be to normal. Fuel boost will come off. Avionics 2 will come off, or 1. And the battery. There we are. Thanks for coming along for this first flight. We're going to relearn this aircraft, but we'll be seeing this a few more times in videos over the coming months. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.